Yeah. Probably dropped a couple seeds in like one hole. So Kyla's over there pulling some turnips. Look, shows that one. Look at that beast. It's not. It's yeah. It's not huge, but you know they look pretty okay. The ones, yeah, that one's a good sized one right there. And then we've got some over here. Actually, I'm just gonna pull one. So if you look right here, get you down on that level. So if you can kind of see in between there. There's some purple. Let's find a really big one. Watch, now I'm going to pull out a small one. Alright.
Oh my God.
Not too bad.
This one.
Not too bad on this one.
That was probably one that was randomly
It's
dropped.
a decent one.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
So the only bad thing about our turnips is like they got attacked by bugs, and obviously this is looking pretty wilty just because it's like 97 or 98 degrees right now. So, but other than that, like I'm just kind of disappointed about the turnips just because they got eaten up by bugs on the leaves. So like you can use the turnip greens for a bunch of different things like saute or you know, like a stir fry or, you know, whatever. So, you know, I'm just kind of pissed just because that could be an extra crop that we could have used. But instead, you know, just cutting down, just going to give people a lot of turnips this week. Other than that, we do have a little bit of leaf lettuce left. Might have some spinach, some kale. Green onions will probably be a thing again. And then let's see what about the arugula. I thought the arugula looked okay last night, but you can see it's still getting eaten up by bugs. But we'll have basil, we'll have some oregano, some mint, and some cilantro, and green and purple basil. So we really do have a lot of stuff going on, even though you know, it doesn't feel like we're growing that great right now, just because it's not like overly abundant. But then we've got this thing coming along. It's been kind of a challenge just with it being so hot. You can see like the kale's a little like stunted, or you know, I don't know. So, and then obviously I'm having terrible luck with all these guys. So this is baby bok choy. This is arugula. No matter what I do, anything I plant that is a brassica, which is like kale. Well, the kale's been doing okay, but like the cabbage, unfortunately, you know, tons of holes in the leaves, and you know, we've sprayed it multiple times with you know, a bunch of different organic chemicals, and you know, that's kind of like a good thing and a bad thing, because you know, the organics just aren't as aggressive, but at the same time there's not a whole lot that you can use for food that really isn't organic. You know, and I kind of worry about that. I don't want to poison myself or anybody else, so you know, we'll take a little bit of bug damage. It's just a learning experience on that, so it just kind of sucks to not be able to provide everything that we really promised. But you know, today, as always, we're doing some harvesting. Let me zoom in here. Got a softball turnip over there. So Kyla's over there harvesting, and then I'm doing some more staking of the tomatoes. They're growing great. And you can see here, I'm trying to get you in there. I got a bad angle on this thing. But right there you can see we got some tomatoes finally budding.
Inside.
And no, they're over here. Dogs finally found some shade. But so yeah, some of the tomatoes are doing great, and like just look at this fruit cluster too. It's like pretty amazing. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, there's so many flowers. Like, I almost have to zoom in on that right there, just because that's really incredible. I think that this is probably the jelly bean tomatoes, so they're gonna be really small. But wow, that's just super impressive to me, because it's just like a you know, supernova cluster of flowers. I've never really seen that on tomatoes, so it's got to be a smaller variety. Otherwise, they'd kind of weigh the plant down. And you know, with some of the big tomatoes we had last year, you know, that alone, like it almost needed like just staked up just for like 1 or 2 giant. I think, what did we have last year? What was the tomato? The variety?
San Marzano?
That big one though.
Beefsteak.
Beefsteak. I think. Yeah. I guess it was just a beefsteak, and I think we got some super steaks as well.
We have Gurney's Monster.
Yeah, this year we've got Gurney's Ruby Monster tomatoes, and I think those are the ones that are growing like in these root pouches up along in front of the nook, and then these are it's just a crapshoot on the ones on the outside. So I think these are the San Marzano. I don't know. I mean, I think that leaf just looks, that pattern kind of looks familiar from last year, so it's going to get, you know, really sprawling. It's going to look a lot more like this tomato plant by the time it's done. But, you know, I just love growing tomatoes. And then over here, you know, because there's just so many different ways you can do it. Like over here, we've got the Florida weave method that we just showed you in the last episode. I'm also trying it on my pepper plants. I thought I was just going to throw in some trellis netting. That's, you know, pretty standard for like growing peppers, but I think you could probably do the Florida weave method. So I'm like, you know what, let's just try it. If not, we can always just throw in some bamboo stakes and stake them up individually. So like when you cut that, if you see flowers, just go ahead and cut them off. Like these? Yeah, that bud. So yeah, so it's been so hot, like a lot of our mint and really a lot of the oregano too is starting to flower out, which isn't a terrible thing. I mean, we can always collect the seeds, you know, and this stuff was both growing through the winter, so you know, it's been growing for a while, and it was kind of hard and bitter like when I tasted some. So I guess I've never really like grown or done anything with the mint before, but we were thinking about like drying that out, you know, drying some other spices out. But you know, so that's what we're up to today. It's pretty freaking hot, so we're just gonna get this all situated, you know, do some work, and then probably head inside, start making up some of the, you know, at least doing some prep work on the boxes for this week's delivery. We've got 4 people that are getting it this week, and you know, like we said, just kind of quick recap. We've got some lettuce, we got green onions, cilantro, green and purple basil, and possibly some kale. Oh, that's, yep, that's some more lettuce.
I should cut that.
I think it's leaf, isn't it?
Looks like head.
Yeah, just let it go. But so before too long, we'll be out here harvesting some garlic scapes. They're starting to die on the tips, so that's a good sign. And then, you know, after that, we'll just have to let them dry out for about a week. So I'm trying to figure out what we're gonna do with that, whether we're gonna do it like in the garage or, you know, maybe in the basement. You know, either way, we got to get them in a good spot where they're gonna be away from the bugs, you know, not smell up the house too much, and then, you know, properly cure. So really a lot of stuff going on, and you know, now that the tomatoes are looking good, I think we're really going to be rocking here. You know, and that's always a great sign. We've got a lot of people that want green tomatoes, so you know, obviously they're not going to want the little guys, but I just noticed in here, I let some of these big tomatoes grow from last year, just rogue, and this guy, it's got to be a San Marzano or a Roma, just with that shape, but they're growing strong. A lot of flowers and fruit over here. So yeah, definitely a lot going on, but thanks for watching in, guys, and as always, appreciate it.